Today we're driving a 2021 Chevrolet Trailblazer. We are in an all-wheel drive LT that starts around $25,600. The Trailblazer comes in under 20 grand for its base model and can get over $32,000 spec'd with all the right options. So there's a pretty good range in price. I will say that sometimes cars surprise me, and this is one of those times. Let's walk you around this Trailblazer, show you what it's all about, show you some of the features, talk about the specs. We'll go for a drive, do a sound system test. This is all new for 2021. They've carried over the older Trailblazer nameplate from about a decade ago. That's annoying. That was a body-on-frame SUV with a big V8. So this is a little bit of a departure from that. We have a 1.3 liter, 3-cylinder turbo, and this Trailblazer has a 9-speed automatic transmission. The one thing I do really like about this Trailblazer is just all the space you get. For this class, this is a pretty good amount of room. The rear deck loading height is a little bit high, but the back seats fold completely flat, and the Trailblazer has a little bit of a party trick where the front seat, the front passenger seat, will also fold completely flat. Look at that. Chevrolet has photos of people putting kayaks in their Trailblazers, and it'd be a small kayak, but you could probably do it. This is not an off-road capable crossover. It's only got 7.5 inches of ground clearance. But I think it's a pretty attractive design. It carries over some of the Blazer's design language, trying to make the front end look like a Camaro. This is just trying to be a car. It's trying to be a normal, stylish car that will attract younger buyers. It's reasonably priced. It's well optioned. You can kind of get everything you need out of it. The back seats have a ton of space. You can really stretch out under the front seat. You have a lot of headroom. Unlike a lot of other vehicles in this class that tend to be a little bit cramped, this Trailblazer actually feels very spacious. There's the 1.3 liter, tiny little engine. We've got 17-inch wheels, Continental tires. Pretty nice ergonomics and usability throughout the cabin. GM always puts a very nice high-res reverse camera into their cars. This is no exception. Otherwise, you've got a couple different modes down here. You've got a sport mode with a racing flag. Kind of silly in a car like this. This does have all-wheel drive, but you have to select it. I honestly haven't really used it all week. You'd probably want it if you were in a snowy climate, but otherwise it's kind of an unnecessary feature on a car with this power level. You also get lane keep assist, and you can turn off auto stop start. Otherwise, pretty typical GM interiors. I like these cloth seats. I kind of do miss cloth seats in cars. They wear well, they're comfortable, they keep you in the seat better than leather or vinyl. You also have a place here to put your phone, and joy of joys, it's actually grippy, so stuff that you put in here won't slide around or fall out. Climate control fans are a little bit loud in this car. That's one thing just I will note, but for the purpose of this video, we'll turn them off. Otherwise, everything else is what you would expect. Let's take this thing for a drive. Decent little turning radius. We've done quite a bit of long distance driving in this car this week. Did about 300 miles over the last couple days. It is reasonably comfortable. The ride quality is on the firm side, but it's not stiff, and I really haven't had a problem with it all week. The handling is nice, it's nimble, it's kind of agile around city environments. These seats are pretty comfortable, and as you can see, it's been pretty fuel efficient. This is rated for 30 miles to the gallon on the highway, 26 in the city, so you should average about 28, and that seems about right. I think if you're going 65 on the highway, really hypermiling it, you could probably eke out 33, 34 mpg, maybe even a little bit more. but for most driving, you're going to be getting in the high 20s. This 9-speed automatic is super smooth. GM has done a really good job tuning it. I have no complaints about the transmission. It's awesome. It feels great. You cruise at a nice low RPM on the highway. It gives you downshifts when you need it. There's a little bit of a delay sometimes, but for the most part, it's a great smooth transmission. I also kind of like the way a turbo 3-cylinder sounds. It's a little bit gruff, a little bit throaty. It's interesting. It's more interesting, I would say, than your traditional inline 4 turbo. It's pretty quiet over bumps, not a lot of impact noise or anything thanks to large sidewalls. Let's throw it into sport and all-wheel drive mode just for fun here, see what happens. I will say acceleration in this is adequate. For what it is, it's not a sporty car, but it gets the job done. It gets you up to speed nicely. This turbo makes you feel like maybe you have a little bit more torque and power than you do. You're not going to win any drag races 0 to 60, but it's definitely enough power to get you around, and I think the engine sounds kind of cool, so it makes you feel like you're going a little faster than you are. Wind noise is kept at a pretty good minimum too, at 70 miles an hour. Brake pedal is firm, good amount of bite, no complaints there. We made it. There's something that I like about a short wheelbase crossover. It's light, it's nimble, it doesn't feel cumbersome and heavy. I mean, this is just basically a lifted hatchback, and I do like the way it drives. It's kind of fun to chuck it around town, and you don't have to think as much about the driving experience. You don't have to plan for longer braking zones like you would in an SUV. And there's not the weight of a full-size SUV or even a mid-size crossover. Overall, this is a pretty good package. It's a nice car. A really good effort from Chevrolet. I think it looks good. You can option it out well. This has radar-guided cruise control that works great. We use it pretty much on the entire 250, 300-mile journey yesterday on the highway down I-80. And it does a good job accelerating around cars when you turn your signal on. You can skip 5-mile-an-hour increments by holding the button. The layout is super simple. You can change your following distance. And if you hold the X button on the side, you can change it back to traditional, regular cruise control. 80 miles an hour, very little wind noise, very little road noise. Feels great. All right, let's go into Apple CarPlay here and select some audio tracks. Also, this infotainment is nice and responsive, so that's good. control your volume and your tracks on little 2 buttons behind the steering wheel. Up-down volume is on the right, and track selection is on the left. No paddle shifters. Your stop-start turning on there.
Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right?
Ahead of us is the alternative to this Trailblazer, the Chevy Trax, which I think is hideous, and it's a little bit smaller. I definitely would recommend this over a Trax. Sound system in this is reasonable. It's pretty good. No problems there. There's even the option to have wireless Apple CarPlay, which is kind of cool. Down there, though, you get a cigarette lighter port, USB-C, USB Type A, and an aux port to plug in all of your devices and listen to your music. This infotainment is super fast and responsive. I wish all infotainments were this quick. Let's go into the parking structure and see what the headlights look like. One complaint that I do have at night is when you're driving, you can really lower the gauges to be nice and dark, and that's very easy. You just have a little slider here that can brighten and darken the displays. But if you have your displays really dark and you put the car in reverse, the reverse camera is so bright that it kind of blinds you with respect to everything else around you at night. So kind of a little complaint there. Not a huge deal, but just a little annoyance that I've noticed pretty much immediately when I got into this car. I think it's a little bit too bright today to show you guys what the headlights look like, but this will kind of give you an idea of the gauge cluster at night, hopefully. This is a nice little crossover. I'm not sure I'd take it over a Mazda CX-30, but I think in the American segment it's pretty competitive, and they will sell a lot of these. It's just a normal, regular, everyday car. It does just fine. Kind of gives customers everything they want. They get the high driving position, good fuel economy, a little bit more ground clearance, the availability of all-wheel drive, all the tech, and it's in a pretty easy to use package with great ergonomics and simple controls. The leather on the steering wheel feels pretty good. There's some cheap plastic stuff throughout the interior, but that's all pretty typical GM. I think a lot of this will get kind of dirty and nasty after a little while, but the black plastic at least has a little bit of a flake to it, but it's already starting to scratch a little bit. So, if you keep this clean, it'll look pretty good and age well, but for the most part, it's starting to look a little bit scruffy already after a week of use. All right, guys, I think that sums up the Trailblazer. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Yeah, turbo 3 cylinders. Kind of about it. Also, super easy to get in and out of. The roof height in this thing is just awesome.